Waverly School District. My superintendent, Kelly Blake, is here. Thank you for your support of these efforts as well. And we have the Ingham ISD superintendent here. You'll hear from the Eaton ISD superintendent. But the fact of the matter is that, in my opinion, Eaton and Ingham counties really aren't all that different. When you look at them, they each have cities, large and small, rural areas, and the needs of those students for moving forward and making career and post-secondary choices are the same. And we're very pleased, as I said, to have this regional collaboration and partnership. Linking students with opportunities in higher ed, scholarships, assisting with the student council ratio is all part of what CapCAN does. And one of our partners, very important partners, of course, we're here at Lansing Community College's West Campus, is Lansing Community College. And I'd like to now introduce Dr. Tony Glasgow, Associate Vice President for External Affairs Development and K-12 Operations with LCC. Tony?
Good morning, and I have 3 minutes, and Michelle is timing me, so I promise to stay within my 3 minutes, even though there's so much to tell. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to LCC on behalf of our president, Dr. Brent Knight, our executive leadership team, and the entire LCC community. What does this mean for LCC? It means that Tri-County and even beyond, Shiawassee, Livingston, Ionia, we feel that we need to be good partners, that we need to be good citizens, and that includes sharing the amazing resources that we have here on West Campus, as well as downtown, Livingston, Clinton County, and Tri-County wide. We do our best to be there where it makes sense, and this makes sense. Not only does CapCAN make sense, it makes sense to have Ingham County and Eaton County working together, because the bottom line is serving the students. And how can we better serve the students? I'm not going to get down in the weeds. That's probably why I left my folder in the car, because it would have taken me more than 3 minutes to provide some of the statistics. I think data is so important. To know that over 500, and I'm being I'm lowballing that number, very conservative when I say 500. Eaton County students, as well as Lansing School District, Clinton County students are served 5 days a week, both on this campus and downtown, where they are taking direct college credit sitting in a classroom. Not only that, we don't forget Wilson Talent Development Center. They generate more articulated credit than any other partner we have. Thousands of credits where their instructors are teaching, and we've done the alignment and we've said, yes, you are teaching our outcomes, and we want your students to receive free college credit and transition to LCC. The list goes on and on. I have to mention Bill Barnes, because Bill is our champion, whether it comes, whether it's the Marshall Plan, along with other partners, whether it's the Coalition for College and Career Readiness, whether it's his early middle college, whether it's the math alignment that we recently completed. What's the point? The point is, Bill is working with LCC, not just for Charlotte, not just for Eaton County, but so that Tri-County wide, Ingham and Eaton County can benefit from the work that we're doing. That is at the heart of what I do. And I have a passion to make sure that we're leveraging resources. We're not duplicating. We're working together. We're working across county lines. Why? So that Lansing, Promise and Hope scholars can take advantage of what's going on here, so that Mason Promise students, so that all of the students that we should all call our own benefit from college access, college readiness, persistence, retention, and completion. If that's what you're about, if that's your agenda, then please count LCC in. How did I do, Michelle?
Tony, and thank you for your continued support. I'd be remiss if I didn't know we have several board members of CapCAN here in the audience as well, and I think it shows it's our diversity from business, from philanthropy, from the public sector. So I see Justin Shaheen with the Lansing Promise, Victoria Meadows from Leap, you'll hear in a second. I saw Patty Spagnola. Thank you for being here. And now, as I said, collaborations don't happen overnight. They take many hours of discussion and sometimes years of discussion, actually. But they don't happen unless you have leaders with foresight. And with that, I'd like to introduce Cindy Anderson to talk a bit about the history and process of Eaton County coming into this collaborative. Cindy is, of course, the superintendent with Eaton RESA and one of those thoughtful and insightful leaders that has helped put this together. Cindy?
Well, that's quite a billing to live up to, even though I'm a little shorter than Arnold. And I always seem to follow Tony in every speaking engagement, so she has the passion, and then I come forward with the systems, the processes, and the structures to make it happen, right? That's kind of how we partner. This has been a 2-year process in the making by integrating the Eaton County College Access Network efforts with the Capital Area College Access Network. It happened over the course of about 18 months. One of the starting points for engaging in a college access network was really doing an environmental scan. We enlisted and facilitated that work through the Michigan State University Community Aid Lab. They helped address focus groups and stakeholder groups and survey data work to quantify the needs in Eaton County around college access, participation and persistence data. From that, we had an Eaton County specific leadership team. I see several of our members here today, Bill Barnes, Bill DeFrance from Eaton Rapids as a superintendent here. And we really worked over that course of time, taking that data apart, really analyzing it. And as we looked at the data more and we talked with the important business, nonprofit, and private sector partners, we realized that the needs overlapped and intersected significantly with the work that was already occurring in Ingham County through the CapCAN. Once we saw that as a leadership team, really started to engage and focus our efforts on reaching out to the existing CapCAN leadership and building a process for how we could integrate the two college access networks. The purpose of that was really to maximize resources, streamline efforts, avoid and minimize duplication of services and efforts, but bring the full scope of benefit around the college access network and systems and supports to all the students in Eaton County as well as Ingham County. So over the course of that time, the process we went through to integrate and merge the two college access networks was 3 or 4-fold. We actually took some steps to develop new bylaws for the CapCAN as an organization. We established, as Arnold just mentioned, a combined governance structure between Eaton and Ingham County. We adopted a new common agenda for the work of the integrated and merged CapCAN. And then we also reconfigured the leadership for the CapCAN to reflect a more regionalized approach to college access and supports and services. This will be our first year. This is the kickoff event to kind of announce that merger and collaboration between the two counties. and we're now beginning that hard work of the implementation of system structures and supports for students across the 2 counties. So I think Eaton will bring some value adds to the CapCAN in terms of some of the work and partnerships that we've built, and I think we'll benefit greatly from some of the experience and structures that have been put in place through the CapCAN system over the last few years. So we're excited about the merger and the collaboration, and we look for some great things to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. So along with Eaton Reese, of course, Ingham ISD is an important partner. I want to recognize Jason Melma, the superintendent of Ingham ISD, and of course David Hornack, the superintendent of Hope. Both are board members. And so our board, as I noted, is comprised of public sector, private sector, nonprofit. And our next speaker that I'd like to introduce represents the private sector on our board and does a fantastic job in her role at the Lansing Economic Area Partnership, otherwise known as, we all know it as the Victoria Meadows.
Good morning, and thanks for having me this morning. Happy to be filling in for Bob Thomas. LEAP has been a very proud and a strong supporter of CapCAN for many years. Before me, I believe, and now with me on board. And as an organization that really embraces regionalism and the concept of collaboration as a means for successful economic development, we absolutely see this merger as a victory, as contributing to that vision that we have as well. And as Arnold and Cindy and Tony already sort of capitalized on, we're all about stronger together, those partnerships that working together, we're going to achieve long-term prosperity here in our region. So from a business perspective, access to post-secondary opportunities, including certificates and apprenticeship and college, 2-year, 4-year, PhD, master's, the whole gamut, gives our residents a competitive advantage within the workforce. And our state's talent pipeline is dependent on both schools offering those opportunities and workers taking advantage of those opportunities to keep them up to date with current employer needs. For this to work, businesses must be at the table to share their workforce needs, challenges, and expectations. Otherwise, we run the risk of training workers for jobs that won't exist tomorrow, or worse, contributing to a culture where continuing education and development are not valued. And certainly CapCAN, this is at the root of what they do. And in our constantly changing economy, this is not an optional thing. Having business involvement in promoting educational achievement and access supports a vision for students to see what is possible. Regional resources like the Capital Area College Access Network assist students in navigating the process from funding to enrollment, meaning Michigan students will be better equipped to take on the challenges that tomorrow's jobs require. But the endeavor is only as good as the network, which requires full community support, including education, nonprofits, local government, and business. And that's kind of where we fit in, and we fully support this merger. Thanks.
Thank you, Victoria, and thank you for LEAP support on our board and in the region of this work. Of course, you know, any organization such as this usually has a couple of people that really make it go. And it's been my privilege over the last couple of years being on the board to get to know one of those people. And that is Teresa Kmetz, who's President and CEO of Capital Area United Way. And Capital Area United Way can't be thanked enough for their support of CapCAN from its beginnings. and continues today. And with that, I'd like to have Teresa come up and talk about a few words about why a funder like Capital Area United Way is involved in this organization.
Good morning. Capital Area United Way is proud to be a partner supporting the Capital Area College Access Network. We're proud to be supporting a program that ensures our students are ready to access post-secondary opportunities. Earlier this year, Capital Area United Way convened community stakeholders to begin to identify and discuss alignment of coalitions, entities, and programs that serve the needs of youth along the college and career continuum. We saw an opportunity to identify unified goals and to find links to support one another to achieve better outcomes for all residents. The integration of the Ingham County and Eaton County college access networks is a positive step in that unifying work. Promoting a culture that values post-secondary education and ensures that every person is academically, financially, and socially ready to access post-secondary learning opportunities and resources that ensure that our community retains residents and supports household sustaining employment has been at the heart of the Capital Area United Way and the Capital Area College Access Network. This work is supported by many in our community, including foundations and businesses that see the value to ensuring that every resident is ready to access post-secondary opportunities in this community. We know that when a student has guidance in readiness and access and a strong infrastructure throughout their academic career, they will be successful. They will graduate and will be ready to succeed when they enter the workforce. As a member of CapCAN's board, I am grateful to the visionary members of the CapCAN and Eaton Can Board of Directors that worked diligently to bring this integration to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Greatly appreciate your support for this organization. And I hope you're really getting a flavor here from the speakers of the depth of experience we have in this organization, those on the board, and really the cross-collaboration between the public and private sector. And that's what I really love about CapCAN, what I really love about being on the board. CapCAN, of course, is part of a broader statewide network of CANs, as they're called, around the state. And I was hoping we could have Sarah Anthony here today, but I don't see Sarah. But we are part of a broader network, the Michigan Capital Access Network. So I want to be sure to give them their due as well. Well, I said before that, there's always a couple of people that make organizations like this run. And I pointed out the great support that Teresa has provided and Capital Area United Way has provided to CapCAN. But now I want to bring up our executive director, Michelle Strotz. And I have known and worked with Michelle in other capacities over the years, and I'm very pleased to come onto this board and get an opportunity to work with her, because that seems to be a popular phrase today. Michelle gets things done, and she knows how to build partnerships and sustain those partnerships, and she pushes the needle, and she pushes us as a board, and has really had great success in improving CapCAN's stature throughout this area and pushing the notion of it starts at home. It starts with our own students. And aside from Cindy and her team, if it wasn't for Michelle, this wouldn't be happening either. So thank you, Michelle. And if you could add a few words, we'd appreciate it.
Good morning. I don't know if it's quite lunchtime yet, but thank you all for being here. I'm delighted to have you. joined us this morning in the celebration of our integration with Eaton County. First of all, I would like to thank our board of directors for your commitment and support and leadership. I'll let you in on a little secret. When I was hired 4 years ago, one of the things they said to me is, we'd love it someday if we were actually more of a regional college access network. So I had their permission from the get-go to sort of plant the seeds towards this conversation. I'd also like to thank Eaton RISA and all of the team members from the Eaton Leadership Action Team for their willingness to look at a new way of accomplishing our goals for college access in this community. I'd like to thank LCC for hosting us today. This is a really incredible building. Obviously, we're in a really cool venue today. I want to make sure we tell young people that college isn't always sitting in a lecture hall. This is what the new college looks like. So we want to inspire them for that as well. And I'd like to thank the Capillary United Way for being our fiduciary, providing me with a home to do our work, and wonderful collaborative partners. Thank Joni, who's also here, and Glenn, part of our team at United Way. I'd like to thank and introduce my growing team. We doubled over the summer. It's been a lot of fun to incorporate our young people into our organization. First of all, Ashley Justice, would you wave in the back? Ashley is our new program director. She will actually be providing support to all of our high school partners as they begin to discern and implement their post-secondary plans for their students. Jake Tkachuk is a little far in the back as our new Vista. He just joined us in August, and he'll be taking over for Erica Rios, who is also in the back. I'm going to miss Erica tremendously. She has been just the glue that has kept us together and taken great care of me, so I want to thank her especially. So according to the Lumina Foundation, they annually track and release data regarding college attainment. Eaton County has 38%, and Ingham County has 48% of adults between the ages of 25 and 64 who have at least a minimum of an associate's degree. But we know in our community that 70% of the jobs that are currently available require some type of post-secondary degree or credential. So we have a long ways to go, and this is why our college access networks were created in this community. We must continue to focus on college attainment to meet our talent pipeline needs, but also we want to create a vibrant community, one where our citizens are making a sustainable wage and are leading healthy lives. In order to do this, we should be focused on 4 key areas. And this is what this new framework is sort of illustrating today. We are focused at CapCAN on readiness, access, retention, and empowerment, because we are a rare community. We've spent the past few months looking at our college enrollment persistence data. We know from aggregating all of this data that our low-income students, our students of color, our students with disabilities, and our students where English is not their primary language are all continuing to lag behind their counterparts. We need to double down on our efforts in our community to create a college-going culture. This starts, of course, at home, but we also need to bring that into our schools and into our community, where we create motivation and understanding for that student that they are indeed college material. There are 4 actions I wanted to highlight today regarding what we'll be doing over the next year to mobilize the rest of our community and work with our partners to create that college-going culture. First, we will continue to support our college advisors. We have now added 3 high schools in Eaton County that have college advising capacity in Maple Valley, Eaton Rapids, and Relevant Academy. They will join our 10 schools in Ingham County with college advising capacity. These college advisors provide one-on-one support to our students to help them find the right match and fit for their post-secondary plans. This includes helping them navigate the process, to fill out college applications, which October is college month, and that's what we'll spend day and night doing this month. Also to complete the FAFSA financial aid form, which actually provides the access that our students need in order to be able to obtain their college education. And then we also assist with scholarships like the Lansing Promise program. We do a lot of support for our students to access their resources. Last year, our college advisors worked with over 1,700 seniors. They submitted 2,900 college applications, and they submitted over 950 FAFSA applications. We need to close the gap between the number of college applications that are completed and the number of FAFSA applications that are completed, because that's really the crux of the issue. And lastly, our college advisors met with students over 5,000 times. Of course, we'll be doubling that probably in the next few years as we work with our Eaton County partners, so we're very excited to have them as part of that college advising team. Secondly, we received a grant last year from the Capital Region Community Foundation and the GM Foundation to pilot something called Pathway to Potential, where we are working with young adults between the ages of 16 and 24 to make it possible for them to come back in to school or to a career pathway if they've stepped out for a while. So we want to make sure that our community knows that if you know of a young adult or you are a young adult up to age 24 who needs some assistance, they can work with our college and career coach, Jeff Doyle, who is here somewhere. There he is, Jeff Doyle. And we'd be glad to talk with them about what they might need in order to get back onto a pipeline to post-secondary education. We also offer specialized training, something called College Positive Volunteering, for any adult in this community who works with a student to be equipped with a common language and the knowledge to actually be able to inspire them and answer their questions regarding college participation. So if you have an organization, have groups of volunteers or mentors that you want to be trained in College Positive Volunteering, we're happy to come in and do that with all of your team members. Lastly, as been alluded all throughout this conversation today, CapCAN is dedicated to partnerships. Obviously, we will continue to work with C3R and LCC, with Teach Talent Thrive, or T3, through Capillary Michigan Works, to try and continue to build a college-going culture. Many of you know that our region has just submitted our Talent Consortium concept paper to the Marshall Plan. We've agreed to be part of the Talent Consortium, which will allow us to partner with our business leaders and education leaders to support the utilization of tools like career cruising, the new My Bright Future system, which will link students with employers for work-based learning opportunities, or a professional career coach that they might talk to and learn more about occupations. Most importantly, we will help our students discover their why. This will give them the pathway that they need to link to their educational goals and help them pursue their career dreams. I'd like to thank you all for joining us here today and for your dedication towards our shared goal as we have adopted our new common agenda, which is a mouthful, but I'm going to read it for you today. Our new common agenda vision statement says that we will create a healthy economy, a versatile and dynamic workforce, and a vibrant, engaged, and sustainable community that encourages and supports all of our residents in attaining post-secondary education. So on that note, I thank you for being here. Happy to answer any questions for media folks here today. Appreciate you being here as well. And release you to talk to one another, go enjoy some cupcakes and some refreshments out in the hallway. So thank you so much.